Hi, I'm Ryan Mallory, and I'm here with four ladies that do an incredible amount of stuff for freedom and patriotic causes in Southern Oregon. And honestly, I think it's best that you introduce yourselves. Amy, could you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yep, I'm Amy Rose with Faith and Freedom.
And I'm Cassidy Burns with Maskless Women of Southern Oregon.
I'm Megan Turk with Maskless Women of Southern Oregon.
April McDonald with Faith and Freedom.
And you guys all collaborate together. Tell us a little bit about Faith and Freedom. Amy?
All right, yeah, Faith and Freedom, we started that way back after the first lockdown. And so a lot of us were kind of seeing through some things back then. And so we did a rally that gathered a few thousand people, and that was after the first lockdown. So it was a kind of scary time. People didn't really know what was going on. But we still had that many people coming out. We had great speakers, and a lot of faith-filled people were speaking. And so anyway, we had designed...
At a time when people were told they couldn't go to their churches, right?
Yeah, and people came out in force, and it was really a great time. And so it's fun to unite people that are full of faith and want their freedom and are willing to stand for it. And, you know, we all did our part for a little bit, but then we realized we have to start standing and pushing back. And so now we just want, you know, people to gather and unite so we can be a strong force for what's good.
Yes, it is
Yeah,
good.
it is good.
I love that. I was just listening. So Maskless Women started, and initially it's called Maskless Moms, started with the idea of gathering people to grocery shop and be maskless together. We felt like we were alone in the grocery stores. We were constantly complaining to each other that we're the only ones out in public without a mask on. And we thought, well, if we start a Facebook group, Megan put it up, and we thought, well, if we can grab a couple people to maybe meet up and not feel alone, that would be great. And turns out there's thousands and thousands of women who were feeling alone, who want to take their masks off, who are taking their masks off. Our group grew fast, very quickly. It's a very positive group where we basically just encourage people to take off their masks, to stand up for themselves, and it's been empowering. We've had a lot of phone calls and messages, people, specifically women, feeling like they were totally alone, that they were crazy. And now they have a group that supports them, that's positive and uplifting. And it's a pretty simple concept, but it has been very powerful. And through our effort of just grocery shopping together and getting together with Maskless, we've been able, I think, to make some change and some policy around town. And I think it's been a powerful thing.
Yeah. Okay, so my name is Megan Turk, and I'm with Maskless Women of Southern Oregon. And, you know, the theme for our group has become that Helen Keller quote, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much, and courage is contagious." You know, like she said, it started off with us walking into a grocery store, and we were tired of being the only ones in the entire store that was taking a stand against this. And one person in a grocery store isn't going to accomplish anything, but if we could get 20 to 50 plus women in there, then that is, because when the majority of the people stand up and start saying no, that's when this ends. So that was the heart behind our group to begin with. And then it turned into a community of women, strong women that support each other, that empower one another to take a stand and to fight back against these tyrannical mandates. And so we are offering something much deeper than just maskless selfies, you know, around town and groups of maskless women. We're offering courage and hope to the hearts of this community. And that's the heart.
Absolutely hope. I have a friend who was abused early in life and had a pillow held over her face regularly, and upsets her to have to put a mask on. Have other people that have breathing difficulties in my family and otherwise, where, man, that, especially in this heat, that can be nightmarish for somebody who always feel like they're having a panic attack because your government wants you to have a mask.
Yeah.
April, how do you fit into this stuff?
So, like Amy said, we both kind of came together about over a year ago now, and you know, rallied and just we're standing for freedom. And really, our goal is to enable businesses, small businesses, and the community overall. I think, like I said before, this is a nonpartisan issue, and everyone should be concerned about their freedom, every single person. And so Amy and I's goal is, has been over this time to give businesses, resources to stay open and help people just stand strongly and with courage, like we've all said. I think that when we realize we're not alone, and that there are many thousands, tens of thousands just in Jackson County standing with us, we can make a huge difference, and we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ladies have made a huge impact in the news, on social media, in person at events, and people are happy about it because, wearing a mask and not seeing smiling faces, let alone, that's an effect on local psychology. So
Yes.
if everybody's wearing a mask and you can't ever see anybody smile, everybody's in just a little bit more of a funk. And seeing 50 ladies that are willing to take that mask off and embrace patriotism and freedom is pretty inspiring to folks.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how people can get involved.
Well, as far as Faith and Freedom, we have a Facebook page called just that, Faith and Freedom, so they can join that. And usually we're putting anything that we have going on, such as rallies or different events. And Open Oregon's also a great site to go to. I get a lot of my news there because we know them, and we know that they check everything and they make sure what goes on there is accurate information. And then any other groups they can join like that to really get the real news. I think none of us listen to traditional news anymore, or even local reporting. So that's what's cool about what we're all doing here, is we can bring real news, real community. We talk to the sheriff regularly, the four of us, poor guy.
Yeah.
He loves us.
We're always bugging him. Yeah, and then we talk to the commissioners. We've got in touch with our local leaders, realizing that is where we need to put pressure. These people who were elected or hired.
Are they receptive to that pressure?
They are,
Yeah.
I think that they're always willing to meet and go over the issues with us, and they listen to our concerns, and so far so good. And I do think we've made some change in putting that pressure on, because I think that's what needs to happen.
I found with a lot of our local politicians that they're actually really just waiting for somebody to step forward for what they already believe in, but they need to serve constituents and the masses, and until the masses step forward, a little bit harder for them to do those kind of things. I know our county commissioners have made some recent changes relative to not participating in future mandates, putting guns actually in an ordinance like they needed to be there in the Oregon Constitution and the U.S. Constitution. But I'm seeing a little bit of a revolution you're starting here with politics, in that in Facebook groups that I manage, and you too, 64.7% women locally. A lot of the decisions made in households, you guys are making those, right?
Oh yeah, we're the boss.
Of taking action. I think we get the question a lot, what can we do, or where do we go, or whatever. And we've all had this conversation together. You just got to do something. Go to the commissioners' meetings, set up a meeting with the sheriff. We're not special. He doesn't do this because we're special. He does it because it's his job. And the commissioners work for us, and we need to make sure to hold them accountable and do something. If you don't do anything, in my opinion, you have no room to complain. You have zero room to complain if you're doing nothing and expecting us to carry you. I hope that's not too harsh.
And it can start just with taking off the mask.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what
Doing
it's like,
something.
just take off the mask.
Yep.
And talk to your mom and your brother and your sister. Just take off your mask. People are just putting them on because they're comfortable. They don't want to have a conflict when they go to the store. And that is a way of standing up and stepping up and feeling empowered. So sometimes people feel so lost and that they can't make a difference. Start there.
Yeah.
Take off the mask and take the mask off your kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm a big quote person. I like to poach other people's sayings, but there's a Billy Graham quote that when a brave man takes a stand, the spines of others are stiffened. And that's the point of what we're doing here, not just with the individual, with women, but our commissioners and our mayor and our city council are taking notice of that. And I believe when their spines are stiffened, then some of these commissioners and mayors who have maybe been a little complacent and not been bold in their views and their beliefs, their spines are stiffened as well. So it starts with the people.
Well, I think we need to remember that, in my opinion, part of the reason why we are here, especially in Oregon, is because for far too long we've just let other people do the work. We have not taken a stand individually, and we need to make sure to not make that mistake twice. Yeah.
Well, people were working, me included, and raising a family, and
Right.
living through my corporate career before I retired from it. I mean, I did things, but I was asleep for the most part. I did not realize, this won't be on the video, but I did not realize that there was a Marxist force working to take over our governments. And in my town in Talent, Rogue Action Center / Rogue Climate Change is the city council and the mayor. The same people. That now they bang the gavel without anybody showing up because it's all by Zoom.
Exactly.
I'm appalled, really, if we could get people to come to council meetings, either observe even, or talk, because often in Talent, I'm the only one from the other side that shows up. And when I attend county commissioner meetings online, I notice there's very few speakers, unless there's a heated issue or something like that.
Unless
the
we're
same thing with the Medford City
Yeah.
Council. Last night, there were the screamers from Bear Creek Greenway. And only a couple people that showed up to talk about, maybe a little bit more level frame of mind. So I think it's good to always, like throughout what you guys do, if you guys could encourage people to come to those meetings and
we
get
have been
involved.
trying.
Yeah,
It's
for
how
sure.
it slipped away from us.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
Yeah, I think you hit it right. I think a lot of us are working class and we're not getting paid by some source to go rally and riot and push our cause. So we all work. We have kids and our husbands work. And I think a good weekend for any of us is, we get to go to our kids' sporting events and maybe the lake or mow the yard and then it's back at it. So we are carrying our community in the way that we're working and stuff. But what we have to do is start being a voice. And we learned that at the first rally. Everything was all great until the other side started speaking up that we were going to,
Kill everyone.
yeah, kill everyone, make the pandemic so much worse and all this stuff. And then
Super spreaders.
super
They-
spreaders,
spreaders,
yes.
They
yes.
spray painted
Yes.
it on the side of my
Yes.
church.
Oh, man.
I
Yeah.
heard
Yes.
about that. Yeah.
And that's when we realized that you have to have your voice heard, because they hear from the other side really loudly.
Yep.
But we started realizing that we have to speak up and get involved and know our local leaders. I've said to a lot of people that ask, like April said, what can we do to get involved? I said, if you do not know your sheriff by first name and he doesn't know you, if you don't know your commissioners and your mayor and all of our local leaders, if they're not sick of hearing from you, then you haven't done enough this past year, because there is lots to be done.
Yeah.
And we need every voice.
You have to show up.
Yeah.
And that's why we like to treat our little maskless meetups as an event, and we want people to commit to coming. Because if people want to see change, they have to. Everybody has a life, everybody has families and jobs, everyone's busy. But if you want to see change, you've got to show up. And so that's what we would do, is try to get commitments, because it's not going to work unless we have a massive amount of people doing it. And so
And there are lots of roles in that. You guys are willing to be at the forefront. I'm willing, a lot of our friends are willing to be at the forefront of those kind of things and fight the tyranny, but that isn't everybody, and not everybody's willing to put themselves out there in that way. If you can show up and support it, if you can go to a council meeting and observe, even if you don't speak, and be there to support those from your side of politics that are there to speak, that really helps and really shows that a lot of politics is driven by the loudest people, not what I consider the silent majority.
Yeah, I think the last time we all got together and spoke, we really decided that all of this year's work comes down to we the people. It is not even about our local leaders. It is we the people, and it's time for we the people to stand. And like they said, this fall, tyranny is coming. We all know it. We are very faith-filled women that are very involved in our prayer life and in our community, and we know it's coming. So we have to unite patriots right now. We need to do events. We need to do rallies that when it comes this fall, then we're ready and we're not going to fall for all this again. And so we decided it isn't even about our local leaders. It's about we the people telling our local leaders what we want and expecting it done. and gathering with our friends and family and calling them out to get it done, because no one's going to do it for us. And we all know many people mass exiting from Oregon. So
I have friends, same
Yeah.
way. And, you know, that's kind of what this is about. I wanted to have you guys down to talk about it because there needs to be some other news sources. And really there needs to be somebody that's fact-checking the local news in the Valley, because often what I see is great conservative events, happy people. I've held them myself. Me and my friends have put them together. Police gratitude events where we had more than 200 people showing up during COVID. Nobody got sick.
Yeah.
Not to say that they couldn't. I realize there
We're
is a
still
virus, a
kicking.
flu virus.
Yeah.
But let's just face it, the news will find the most fringe person, interview them, make sure the crowd isn't behind them, make the event look small and crazy,
Yeah.
and then go to press. From now on, there's going to be people taking pictures of the real crowd, the real speakers, and interviewing the real things through Southern Oregon First. And I really appreciate you ladies coming down to help everybody understand what you do, because we want to perpetuate freedom-based patriotic organizations in Southern Oregon so we can stand strong and have what's really been the silent majority no longer be silent.
Absolutely. 100% behind that.
Yep.
We're putting Southern Oregon first, and so should you.